Yeah, so it's not really a special video. It kind of is. So I've been watching some anime. Not really recently. This is like back from November 2024. It's January. So I was trying to like maybe plan to like, hey, I wanted to like just like talk about them because some of them were kind of cool, but it's kind of it. I procrastinated a lot on this, so it was like just 17 of them that I just watched in like about like a month or two back then. These anime, I don't give a shit about them. A good librarian, like a good shepherd, is such a. I feel because it's from like a game or something, but like I don't care about the plot. I like I think like the main female character, I don't hate her, and I don't really hate most of them that much. But like, dude, I just didn't give a shit about this thing, man. Like, nothing was really memorable. Like, he becomes like a fucking like I don't know like person of all the knowledge, and they control whatever. Like, it just wasn't done great, wasn't executed greatly, and I maybe I'm like this is like maybe a hot take, but I find this anime like a lot worse than like the other 16 animes that I'll talk about. So yeah, this one's like dead last and like by a big margin too. Castle Town Dandelion. Um, I don't know, such a like. It feels like everyone's like a fucking like a stuck up. They're not super stuck up, but they just feel really stupid. And like I guess it's a slice of life, that's true, but like I don't know, man. Like I guess I like the person with the blue hair and the person with the red hair, but that's kind of it. I don't. I feel like the plot was pretty pointless. Maybe it gets better in the manga, whatever. But like the that season one anime I watched was like I don't give a shit. Um, Total memory of Phantoms. This was actually like there's a lot of good things to say about it, but I think there's like also a good amount of bad things you can say about it. Um, Really cool. I guess it feels like a lot like a fan fiction that like you get to see the things that you don't really get to see in like the official thing, which I feel is nice. Also, it looks not bad for like for what it is, but at the same time, my complaint about it is like the animation sometimes looks a bit weird. So that's like it's like a both a good and bad, but like it's where you place it. If this isn't done by actual studio, then it'll be not great. Most importantly, I think the storyline's all over the place. Like it's like you get like 10 minutes of this section of this random thing, and then like it never gets talked about ever again. It's like thrown the window, so it's like nothing really matters. I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, I like watching slice of life, and I don't mind it even something that doesn't matter. But it just feels so all over the place that like there's really no point following like a certain episode or anything because if it, even if it gets continued, it's like well, it's like the clock. I was like, guess what? We're on to the next thing now. Doesn't even matter at all. Honestly, this could have been maybe like one of the better ones, but there's just some of those like I think really obvious flaws that puts it really back. Um, Decent, but I probably wouldn't watch a second season of this. I think this is called Love is for a Cocktail Couple or something. I don't know, or suck. I'm not even trying to read that stupid too hard. Um, Slice of life, nothing really happens. Good, short. Um, yeah, I mean the other thing I say is kind of pointless, which I guess kind of applies to here, but like that's kind of the point of this plot, though. And like even then, it's still like all the characters are likable. There's like nothing really hate about them. Like it's just good. It's like if you're looking for drama, you're this is not the right place to look for it. And I finished the manga. I guess I shouldn't really talk about it. I'm just saying it's a separate manga. It's fine. The manga is basically the same thing. I guess it's like it's a little bit better because it explores the other character, but it's kind of it. So yeah, wouldn't really care about second season because it'll probably be the same thing. 13 is this one. I put this one higher up because I feel like they tried and like some things that come out of it. I think the main female character is it's fine. Um, she's at least tolerable. She's not that bad, but like there's some really bad ones. Obviously, the tall light blue hair girl's clearly the best. And I think they I don't remember what they call it. It's like the dark hero or something was like a kind of interesting thing, and the protagonist isn't necessarily like obnoxious or someone that's really dumb that makes you want to like hate the anime. It's fine. That's why I put it a little bit above them, and like there's some characters are a bit, I guess, a little bit more likable and it actually has a story unlike the previous one. That's why I put it a slightly higher because I do want to watch the fights, but like at the same time, it's like I can just live without it. So yeah, I think this is the Presidents of Maid or something. It's a shoujo, which I was actually surprised I managed to even finish it. Um, it's really funny though, like because shoujo's for like young girls to watch for like they watch it for like the hot dudes or something. But I'm like, dude, the female characters are I really like the female character. She's a hardworking person. Like she gets pissed, right? But like it makes sense why she is kind of pissed that like people do some really dumb shit. So like says that on your things face. And honestly, the male character is weird as fuck, man. Like he's like a stalker and shit, and people are like, wow, he's amazing. I'm like, if he wasn't good looking, people would just like arrest him straight up. But yeah, I think her name was like I don't remember fucking name. I think it's Misaki or some shit. But she's actually like someone that I like actually a good person. He's probably a good character as well. And I think I don't remember what's the name. I think it's called Sakura or something. The girls with twin toes also good, but it's kind of it. Maybe I'll watch a second season, but probably not. Actually, I am. This is I think this I don't know if this is like a classic, but I had fun watching it. I was actually some of the situations were fine. Um, it's kind of it's mostly the same things I have. The previous one, the girl vampire is kind of dumb, which like I kind of like some. Sometimes I like some dumb characters. Like it's okay. It's like it's borderline like in the middle for me for this one. There's some interesting stuff. South Korea. This was one that I was actually really looking forward to watching, and like it didn't meet my expectation. Still like it though, I guess, enough to not hate it. Honestly, this is like my reaction towards the anime. Like I gotta looking like um like I felt like the idea of her becoming a vampire was like a vampire undead or thing was kind of cool, but like the story itself isn't that interesting, and like her I think her name was Rhea Sunk or some shit, right, but like her dad is a fucking weirdo, man. Like I mean, like I just can't get over it. I mean, sometimes things exist for plot purposes, but like I feel like that was like, what the fuck, man. Like that's like it's kind of like honestly, I talk about it's kind of like a minor thing, but nothing truly really makes the plot interesting to make me want to watch a season two. D for Egg, D for Egg was fun. It's pretty fun. Taco was probably the best character of the bunch, and everyone's like fucking weird. Like it's done in a way that like it's like funny, so it's fine. The only thing that I didn't like was like the I think the big tournament that they had people commentating and shit, and I'm like, this shit was fucking boring. Like if that part didn't happen, I probably would have placed it higher. But still fun to watch. Probably still worth watching at least some. Probably should watch at least some anime clips. Pretty funny. Um, this one, Clean Freak. There's like that one episode that talks about the writer making like characters and having not the reaction he wanted. That's like why I put him in this high. If it wasn't an episode, I'll probably put this lower. Honestly, I'll put it lower. There's some funny moments, which is fine. The small gags are okay from the other episode, but that one episode with the person writing it is easily the best, and it's like so accurate too. Because fanbase are dumb as fuck, myself included. Um, this is getting the bummer serious part. So fun. We'll probably watch a second season. These are like I I would like I like them to like I love these things. Like this is um Honda inspired a weakest entry. It's just funny, real a lot of misunderstanding, and I'll talk a bit more why I placed this one like not as high. There's like not really anything, but like you expect nothing really happens because of what happens in an intro. Talk about six. I think this is the daily life of high school boys. This shit is fucking hilarious, dude. It's honestly, I it might even be the funniest one, or at least the most realistic funny out of all the bunch. Like the girls are they're psychopaths. The misunderstanding are pretty funny. It just I think it's like the comedy might not you might not find it the funniest, but the jokes are like it feels a lot different than the other animes, which like why I put it here, and it's it's actually kind of surprising. I only have this number six, maybe even a bit higher depending on how I feel that day, but worth watching at least some of the clips. Some of the clips are fucking hilarious. Um, five, you're in a rest. The OVA for this one has one of the best animation ever. Like it is so good. The '90s animation. I mean, I think it had like a budget. It's only 4 episodes and stuff, and like the story was like it's basically slice of life with like um cops and they're adults, which is crazy because anime often have people in high school. So it's like it's nice that like hey you get to see adults being like fucking stupid, and that's also another problem. I think Kobayakawa literally probably the best. If people talk about best girls, probably the best girl out of at least in this entire list, at least out of 17 of them. But like even then, it's pretty frustrating to just watch like the romance between her and like I think Ken. I think it's Ken Nakajima or some shit. But like it just goes nowhere, and you're like watching like these like 20 slash 30 years old like still being taught. So I will put it a bit higher otherwise, but honestly, the rest of the anime is I like it. I like watching it, and honestly, from a story standpoint, it's probably not that strong. A lot of things that happen at the same time. The like, there's like one episode where like a girl dies, um and like she had a diary, and then like fuck, I don't remember her name. There's like um there's two girls. The other girl look at the diary and then she just decide not to like review it. I think that was a pretty cool episode and pretty sad. But other than that, there's not a lot of memorable episode. You basically just watch their like daily like adventures of being a traffic cop, which is like cool. Like I mean, Kobayakawa is like she's like nerdy. Um, it's a little mechanic. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's fine. Uh, oh, Azuga Manga Daioh is literally the god tier of shippos. It's like there's so many random moments of like stuff and like I think that the teachers on here like Niamo and Yukari. Yukari is hilarious. Niamo's like trying to keep herself sane and stuff, but yeah, really fun. A lot of stuff. Um, probably really influential. If it isn't, it probably is like a really indirect way because of it's like really it's like if you air this anime today, you'll be like, wow, this feels like a 2024 or I mean 2025 shitpost, and this was in the 2000s. Like, I think this anime is ahead of its time in terms of comedy, or rather, it just created its own future. Only thing I didn't like was like the Mystic Himura, the person that like watching high school girls do whatever they're doing, which is like I think they could have used the joke like once or twice, and it would be maybe kind of funny. But like they just every time that's his entire personality. So like not that interesting. But it wasn't to the point that like it tarnishes the entire series because he showed up maybe like 5 times, and that's like he only says like I like high school girls, and then he just leaves. Monthly Girl Nozaki-kun. This thing is this thing is like they little high school boys, but honestly better. Everyone is so stupid. Like, they're all like so weird and stuff. I'm part like Mikoshiba, the Sunri guy, and like he's so funny too. All of them were funny. All are funny in their own way. Chio Sakura, the girl in the orange hair, is not fucking annoying. She's actually one of the more sensible people in the series, which is really funny because you usually like have them being like really annoying and you hate them, but no, she's like this likable, really short person. I mean, the only thing I maybe don't really like is like the male that constantly punches the girl that's like that looks like that feels manly, but like it's pretty funny in its own sense. So like, so yeah, still worth watching. Honestly, worth watching. I think the dub is really good too, if I remember correctly. Number two, Barakamon. This is this anime is the reason why Hanakon's like number 7 or 6. Like it is. I think it was at a time that I was pretty feeling pretty shitty. I probably still do, but uh, yeah, it's one of those like there's like no sexualization, there's no romantic, and honestly, it probably has my favorite like beach episode, like easily. There's like no fan service, and you just see like this person just like he like um have have fun and like just look at what life has to offer and stuff, which is like I feel like should be done a bit more. Is it perfect? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's perfect. I mean, there's definitely a lot of things that you can look at it and like criticize on it, but yeah, the characters are fun. The kids are fucking menace to society. Like the kids do not give a shit, and it's like it's a good representation of like what kids are. Kids do not give a shit, and like even if you get mad at them for doing something stupid, I mean like you can't get too mad at them because they're kids. Like kids like 10, like what are gonna do? Punch the kid or something? And like the other characters are pretty fun. Hana, like the main protagonist, he's like a character because Hanagan like he felt like a plot device. He didn't feel like a character at all. And this one you feel like a character. You see him grow, you see him like realize what's going on like around him. He becomes a better person. He begins more openings, like blah 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 blah. And yeah, I feel like that's like why I have this at number two. And yeah, probably worth checking out. It's probably one of the anime that you look at it, you're like, who cares? But honestly, this is the anime out of all this entire list, even number one, that exceeded all my expectation. Number one, Saint Seiya Lost Canvas. I love this thing. This is like I think apparently in like the South America, this thing is like fucking booming forever. Like people just love this thing to death. It's like Dragon Ball Z or something, and I can see why. Uh, it's like you have cool fights. You have these like ghost things like fucking throwing hands and shit. You have the abilities. Like the abilities are fucking cool. And auto ghost saints, like some of them might lose and stuff, and you're like, this guy is fucking cool, and like everyone's just cool as shit. They have like gods and stuff, and they have like this. You have to watch like these ghost saints fight like impossible battles that they somehow manage to like win or like barely win or like what, or just doing things like that. But it's probably one of those anime that like if you watch it, if you marathon for 24 hours and you never watch it again, I'll say you'll like it more. Because when you start to rewatch and think some parts of the story, you will be like, damn, there's a problem with this series, and I don't know how much problems you're gonna think about the series, but there's gonna be quite a bit. So yeah, the OST in this anime is godlike. It is one of the the opening. I don't give a shit. The opening can be whatever. The ending is amazing. Probably, I think Hana no Suri or something. I don't know. It's called a flower chain. I don't remember what it's called in Japanese. Flower Train's really good. Some of the OST are really good. The fight's so cool, and like yeah, a lot of them Ghost Ain't just feel cool as shit. I think there's like a few generations, and probably not gonna watch it or Saint Seiya. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really give a shit for the other ones. It's like at least get to see all of them do something cool, right? So all of them have their own powers, but like here comes like problems or criticisms. The Ghost Saints kind of do all the work, and like a lot of times the battles and the whatever happened to Ghost Saints, it's literally just almost the same thing, except they change a little bit of things, like slightly different abilities. They change their name. The person doesn't look the same, and that's kind of it. It feels really fan fiction of like a writer of just going like, hey, I want to make these Ghost Saints really fucking cool and like make them matter, but also not like make the enemies look super stupid, and that's like what we get. And it was a fun ride, and I like it. I like watching this. It's probably my favorite too. Maybe not of all time, but probably one of them. At least at least enjoyability. I don't know replayability. If I rewatch it, I might drop this by a few ranks. Yeah. The only thing also didn't really like, and like at the same time, is like the Pegasus Saint kind of sucks. Like I get that he's like trading and stuff, and it's kind of like doesn't make sense that he gets strong that fast. But like what the fuck? He just loses every time. Also, Athena doesn't do shit. She just sits like she's just there to be like the barrier, and she just does nothing. I mean, it's obviously a plot. They do this on purpose to keep her up because she's too strong and stuff. But like, I'm like watching this. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? She literally does not do anything. Like him. I mean, her and the Hades Pegasus Saint. I feel need more, and I feel like that's like why the ending was not really ended. That they're preparing like a second war, but like I feel like there should be more and stuff. And yeah, um, I have a lot of good things to say about this, and um, for the people that actually made this for a person or no one, thank you. And in our parts that like, I'll say this: this pose will be in a Seven Deadly Sins video that I'll try to make. Not really even Seven Deadly Sins, maybe Four Nights. Maybe that's the better term. But yeah, if you know what it is, then definitely, I don't know how you even got this because I do have plans, and that's like why I put this picture up. But yeah, Saint Seiya was really fun. Probably one of the probably if I pick had to pick one, and like you're like I like watching fights that are kind of fun. Definitely this one.